Hi, everybody. I want to welcome you to another installment of Talking Tunes with Dr. Tony. And today I'm going to be sharing some information about a band that is probably one of the most underrated, underappreciated groups of all time, and it is the Kinks. The Kinks. So the Kinks first released their debut album in 1964. The album simply called Kinks, and they concluded their recording career in 1993 with the album called Phobia. And they had many members coming and going, but the two mainstays of the Kinks were two brothers, Ray Davies and Dave Davies, and they were much more popular in the UK than they were in the USA. And that was probably because their songs represented to a large extent the English culture and English lifestyle, probably more than any other band, with perhaps the exception of The Who and the Small Faces. So, without any further delay, why don't we go ahead and get into the five songs? The first song is from the concept album from 1969 called Arthur, and that song is called Drivin'. So this album from 1969 did not sell very well, and Drivin', as many other songs recorded by the Kinks, was written by Ray Davies, and it clocks in at 3 minutes and 21 seconds. And the song tells us to forget about all our problems and go driving. It was the first single released from the album Arthur, but it was only released in the UK and the rest of Europe, not in the United States, and it did not chart. But since its original release, it has been praised. It has a jaunty, bouncy rhythm, perhaps simulating a leisurely car drive on a Sunday afternoon, up and down and around hills, curves, very similar to where I live in North Georgia. So that's my number five. Number four, and I'm deviating a little bit from my previous approach where I ignore popular songs. It is Sunny Afternoon. Sunny Afternoon. So this song was actually a number one single in the United Kingdom, and it was number 14 in the US. And it is considered to be the seventh most popular single in the US after these songs: Tired of Waiting for You, You Really Got Me, Come Dancing, All Day and All the Night, Lola, and A Well Respected Man. So this song is from 1966, and it was released on the album called Face to Face. And like the previous song and most songs, it was written by Ray Davies. And like the song Taxman by the Beatles, Sunny Afternoon bemoans the high progressive tax that was enacted during the mid 60s in the UK. And it has a music hall flavor to it. It comes in at 3 minutes and 36 seconds. And Ray wrote the song very quickly. It starts off with a foreboding piano and bass, and some of the lyrics are All's I Got's this sunny afternoon, and telling tales of drunkenness and cruelty. So it is a slow moving blues based song. Sunny Afternoon. Number three, Skin and Bone. Skin and Bone. So this song is from the album Muswell Hillbillies, released in 1971, and Skin and Bone was a concert favorite for many, many years. Stereo Review magazine called the Muswell Hillbillies album the album of the year, but it did not chart in the UK, and it stalled at number 100 in the United States. So it was a critical favorite, but not a fan favorite in terms of sales. So again, written by Ray Davies, comes in at 3 minutes and 39 seconds, and it tells the story of Fat Flabby Annie, who weighs in at 16 stone, which is the equivalent of 224 pounds. So the person tried many diets, but goes too far because now she looks like skin and bone. So it blends humor and commentary. The song starts off with a simple guitar riff and equally simple drums. And then it also has trumpet, trombone, and tuba. And the chorus is very infectious. You don't need no mashed potatoes. You don't need no buttered scones. Stay away from carbohydrates. You're going to look like skin and bones. So, and then in concert, they would often talk about the knee bone is connected to the thigh bone and all those bones connections. So, the Kinks had a lot of fun with this song in concert. Number two, this song, in addition to being the title of a Kinks song, was also the title of an English television program. And that song and that program is Top of the Pops. So this comes from the album Lola versus Power Man and the Money Go Round Part 1. And interestingly, the Kinks came up with other albums that had Part 1 and Part 2, specifically Preservation, but there was never a Part 2 for Lola. And it was rumored that Part 2 was to be Muswell Hillbillies, as the album Lola versus Power Man and Money Go Round came out in 1970, right before Muswell Hillbillies. So Top of the Pops clocks in at 3 minutes and 40 seconds, and it nicely integrates a lot of the different elements of the Kinks songs. Um, so it starts off with a fake introduction from a fictitious announcer in a professional voice. And then there's a killer guitar riff reminiscent of Louie Louie, You Really Got Me, and All Day and All the Night, accompanied by nice drumming. And the lyrics trace the rise of a single record, single release through the charts. And then the bass and organ kicks in after the guitar and drums. And then it segues into a instrumental break similar to Land of a Thousand Dances as recorded by Wilson Pickett, where you have na 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 na. You know it. There's also a double tracked guitar and organ, and then it goes back to that killer guitar riff from the beginning of the song. And at the end of the song, the announcer states that you finally made it to number one, and now you can earn some real money. This was verified by the agent of this fictitious band. And there's also a nice guitar lead at the end of the song by Dave Davies. So that's number two. Number one may come as a surprise to some of you. All five of these songs, by the way, are from different albums. Number one is Sweet Lady Genevieve. Sweet Lady Genevieve. And this may be the most poignant song that Ray Davies ever wrote. And it's sung by the Tramp. and it is from the album Preservation Act 1 from 1973 and clocks in at 3 minutes and 26 seconds. So the tramp is begging for forgiveness. Um, and so this was released as a single, but again, because of their lack of popularity in the United States, did not chart, but it also did not chart in the UK. And it's a big shame because it's a fantastic song. That's why I selected it as number one. Since its release, it's been called absolutely gorgeous, a real candidate for Ray Davies' forgotten masterpiece, and maybe the last truly great Kinks song. It opens with a harmonica and guitar riff, and I seriously encourage you to listen to this song and then listen to the continuing story of Bungalow Bill by the Beatles on the White Album, and you will definitely see a similarity in terms of the chord progression. There's some nice backing vocals on this song as well, presumably from Dave Davies, who did sing some lead songs from the Kinks that were actually pretty good. So there you have it. You have my top five from a very underrated band. If you've not discovered the Kinks, I highly advise you to do so because for a time there, the Kinks and the Rolling Stones were probably the two bands in terms of popularity other than the Beatles in England. And they continued on, but again, just kind of stalled out. So I hope you enjoyed today's segment. And next week or next time, I'm going to get into the Beach Boys. And the Beach Boys were very challenging because of their vast catalog and my love for a good part of their music. But they did have quite a few filler songs and dogs, unlike the Beatles. But I was able to come up with five, and I think they are really great. So I hope you'll stay tuned for that as well. I'll talk with you soon. Bye bye.